since Simchas Torah. So a lot of what's going on in our people, there's been a tremendous... Yeah, sure. Thank you. Since Simchas Torah, there's been a tremendous chizuk in identifying we're Yidden. We're Yidden. I love, some guy got on it went around the video of a guy who had tattoos all over his body. And this Yid said, I'm a Yid, and I want to tell all haters, both the people who perpetrated what went on Simchas Torah, and both people who have joined in the hate, he said, I want to say that I'm a Yid, and he said that I was not in touch. I'm paraphrasing. You saw this video, Manny? He somehow said I wasn't so in touch what it meant to be a Yid. I don't remember the exact... You saw this, Yisrael? You remember exactly what he said? And he basically said that since this went on, I'm more in touch than ever with being a Yid. And like he expressed how he's going to be stronger to Yiddishkeit. Mamish, he basically said the pasuk that but the more we were pained, the more tough we get. We remembered we're Yidden. And what's happening to our nation is a tremendous chizuk standing up as Yidden. What I have been hyper focused on, Avi, is what does it mean to be a Yid? What does that mean? What's the mitzvahs? What's the barrier called a Yid? We've discussed, and really I've been like my eyes open to things that it means to be a Yid. Anybody who knows me knows, especially in the last number of years, minhagim have taken on a lot of meaning to me. When I started my shul a number of years ago, I studied minhagim. Every once in a while on Shabbos Kodesh, over the last couple of years, we have a shiur before the Suda, between the Kiddush and the Suda. So I've made a point a number of times to speak about Minhagei Yisrael, to speak about some of the sources of Minhagim. Minhagim of Klal Yisrael are very, very cool. Now, Minhagim are interesting because we have three categories of law that we follow. We have Doraisa, the commands that God was mitzavas. We have mitzvahs Doraisa, that's one category, Avi, of a Yid. We have mitzvahs D'Rabbanan. We're maminim in the Rabbanan. We spoke about the Rambam. We knocked the scholars in the eyes of the Rambam, Rishonim. We have Chachamim, that God was mitzavas in the Torah, la yasser, not to veer what the Chachamim tell us. And as such, we take very seriously the Rabbanans. And we take seriously mitzvahs to Rabbanan. We have many. We have every Yom Tov. We have the first day is the Raisa, the next day is the Rabbanan. Lulav Dalad Minim as a mashal. Day number 1 is the Raisa. The next subsequent 6 days of Dalad Minim are Chiv the Rabbanan. And we take our Daraisa seriously, the laws that God commanded us, and the laws the Chachamim commanded us, the Rabbanans. We take very, very seriously the Chiv Daraisa and Chiv the Rabbanans. There's a whole nother category called Minhagim. Minhagim means customs. Kach Nagu Yisrael. Such is the minhag of Klal Yisrael. Minhagim are fascinating because it's not a Chiv Daraisa, it's not even a Chiv D'Rabbanan, it's just what Yidden do. It's a minhag Yisrael. Now minhagim are very, very powerful and important. Minhagim to me come from the spirit of the law. We have the law itself, we have the law, and then we have the people that the law creates. In the eulogy of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, in the Bar Yochai, we say, Nasa Adam Nemar Bavorecha. When God said, let me create man, he was thinking about you, Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. You're the man God envisioned. My kids describe this new expression being the guy or the man, him. This new expression of him. Reb Shimon Bar Yochai was him. He's the him. Now, when Hashem, did anybody ever hear somebody who knew English from a dictionary but never heard it spoken? I knew a Yid in Eretz Yisrael, a brilliant Rosh Hashiva, who had a crazy English. His vocabulary, the one hardship is he would say every word very weirdly because he never heard it, he learned it from books. So he would never pronounce the words right, but he had a crazy vocabulary. And what happens when you don't learn it from a person is you can mispronounce the words. Hashem in His law, there's the letter of the law, which we certainly are true to, but there's the spirit of the law. Keeping the law produces a type of person. It produces something. And the law is supposed to produce. One of the importance of having a Rebbe, of Shemush Chachamim, is you see not just the law, but how it translates. The person that the law builds. Anybody was Zeicha, I was Zeicha in my lifetime to see Rav Henoch Leibowitz, the Chavetz Chaim Rosh Hashiva. He was a beautiful person of kindness, of gentleness, a wonderful human being. A wonderful person, a gentle, kind, caring. I saw it, I was zeicher to speak to him and experience his love for each of his Talmidim, the closeness, the kirva. I once spoke to a Talmud of Rav Henoch who felt that he was making his yeshiva exactly like Rav Henoch, and I spoke to the Talmud that you're missing the thing itself. You have the law minus the spirit of the law. You forgot your Rebbe, he was gentle and kind and loving. Do you have that? You're doing everything else was only to allow for that. He was gentle and loving. A Talmud said on Rav Henoch, a Talmud told me that he had a different way of greeting. You know, like people have different handshakes for every person? If you have it once in a while on YouTube, they'll show a video. It's a very good video. It's exactly, it's a visual. Don't take it literal. The literal means nothing. The figurative of this is everything. It's, if anybody sees the video, every once in a while it circulates a video of some teacher has like 20 kids in public school, 25, and has a separate handshake with every kid. You've ever seen one of these videos, Maish? I should make it mandatory watching for all the guys. Chuni, you ever saw such a video? They'll have a teacher, like, the kids line up, and he has like 30 different handshakes. They slap, they this, they jump, they bang elbows, they whatever they do. You've seen this, Yosef? Maish, you've seen this, right? Check it out online. There's got to be. Does anybody have? Let's see it right now. Somebody could find it online. Public school teacher greets like 30 kids, 20 kids. Yeah, you know the video, Nachum? Like this public school teacher greets every kid with a different handshake, and they all line up. Manny, you've seen this, right? Yeah, this one. Anyone that he does it. Which one is it? Yeah, exactly. Teacher has incredible handshake with each student. ABC News. Only 51 million views. Not bad. Wow. Yeah, exactly. You seen this, Happy? Look at it. You've seen this? Yisrael, you've seen it, right? Could you pass it to Yisrael after Ev?
You like dabs with the guy?
Yeah, each one.
Each one's different also.
Each one's its own unique. Now, I want to say on this, so the handshake, any thinking person, the reason 51 million people have looked at this handshake is because it's obviously cool, a teacher relating to each person individually and uniquely. Now you could have this handshake, I promise, and not live like that. You could live that you treat them all the same. I don't care what type of hand. What'd you say? Oh, is that true? But the one he showed was a different handshake.
I think there's a couple. They started copying it. So.
Okay, fine. You started switching it up. I think you repeated something.
You caught him doing the same one twice. There's only so many handshakes. Now, Avi, a Talmud of Henoch Leibowitz told me that he had a unique greeting for each person. I don't think his point, I don't know exactly what he did. I don't think he was dabbing it up with the guys, but he had a unique way of greeting. A Talmud of his told me he had a unique way of greeting each person that was true. He described his own way he would greet him was unique to him. a unique relationship with each, unique connection to each. It was your own kesher, your own unique band to Rav Henoch Leibowitz. And anybody can understand, I think the Mishnah, which says, Av mekabel kol adam b'sever panim yafis. And I think the word savor, greet everybody with a smile. What's b'sever? And b'sever means that it's something internal, it's a svara, that it's unique to this person, that I'm thinking about you and recognize you. Not just a smile and you don't see who's in front of you. It's a smile and a connection uniquely to each individual. Now, where was I going, Rav Ezi? I lost my train of thought in the middle.
The guy, the dad, no?
It's not literal or whatever. It's not just.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to explain. The word of Shemush, nice to see Yodi. Welcome back, Yodi Lunger. Yodi did a cool thing. We're all coming back from dry land. Yodi's coming back from a week on a ship. Excellent. True, Yodi? Do you feel like you're on a ship or it's a whole city? They're like restaurants, amusement parks. You feel like you're on a ship or it's not that way? You probably forget that. Real? So cool. How big is the ship? You don't feel, minute by minute, you don't feel. You're very cool. Good to have you back, Yuri. Ketzer Advarim. If you ever meet somebody who learned from a dictionary, so they don't know how to say the words. They don't know how to say the words because they learned it from a dictionary. They didn't learn it from They didn't learn from a person hearing how to pronounce it. To learn Torah, the law, you can keep all the law. We learn by a Rebbe. Thank you for getting me, Avi. We learned by a Rebbe to learn Shemush, Gadol Shemuses Milimudai, is to learn not just the law, but what the law is trying to produce. I was saying with Rav Henoch, somebody can copy his entire chinuch system and have no shaykhs to him, zero. You could keep everything, every law he kept, but if you don't have the shemush, the thing he was trying to produce. This Talmud described his greeting of every single Talmud. I heard from a Talmud that he wouldn't end conversations with Talmidim. You talked to him till you were done. I don't even know how such a thing is shaykh, but I've heard these things. There was a clear anhaga of kavod to people, tremendous respect, encouragement, and connection to an individual, that you can keep all the system he was doing, but you don't have the spirit of the law. So there's the letter of the law, and there's the spirit of the law. Minhagim, to me, contain the spirit of the law. There's the letter of the law, what Hashem's law said, and Minhagei Yisrael is what the law was trying to produce. The person, the law was, the type of behaviors that the law was trying to produce, that's Minhagei Yisrael. So I appreciate Minhagim and like analyzing Minhagei Yisrael. We were Zeicha last week on Tu B'Shvat. There's a Minhag Yisrael that it was important to me this year. I wanted very much to connect to the Minhag and to think about the Minhag. Avi, there's a Minhag Yisrael on Tu B'Shvat to eat Paris. To eat Paris. And I asked the guys, I met with some of the Chevra right before the guys left. We left right before Tu B'Shvat. We left Wednesday afternoon, and Tu B'Shvat was Wednesday night, Leil Chamishi, and Yom Chamishi, it was Thursday. And it was Wednesday night, Thursday, was Tu B'Shvat. And on Tu B'Shvat, there's a Minhag Yisrael. Yisrael, we have a Minhag across Kol Tfutzis Yisrael. This Minhag is brought in all circles. The Mishnah Berurah brings this Minhag. Chasidim are very careful. Svardim keep this Minhag to eat pears, to have fruit on Tu B'Shvat. Now, Avi, it's such a weird Minhag. Yuri, you look outside, trees are not very productive right now. And it's so strange that you didn't eat pears. We eat fruit. There's no fruit growing on the trees right now. It's not what happens right now. We get fruit, we import from funny places in the world. Right now, any tree we have a connection with, Yudi, is not producing fruit. So what's our deal that on Tu B'Shvat we have a minhag b'chol tfutzas Yisrael to eat fruit? Chuni, I have Chuni, right? Did I say that right? Chuni. Rav Ezi, is he the first Chuni who ever came to yeshiva?
To my recollection.
No. There was a
What
Chuni.
happens? You're busting,
That was a Chuni 15 years ago. The first year of the Masifta, 15 years ago, we had a Chuni Freund. Chuni Freund.
In Masifta.
14, I said 14 years ago. Yoel, you remember Chuni? Where's Yoel? There was a Chuni Freund. You're the second Chuni.
Oh! I saw he many years later.
Yeah, you saw him many years later.
Saw he.
Yeah, Rav Ezi met him many years later. That's Chuni Freund.
Wow.
So, how do you spell Chuni? Chesnon Aleph. It is not Chuni Chesnon Aleph. It's not. I thought his name was Elchanan, a Geshmak nickname. It's his name is who's going to call up to Torah. You're a Yisrael. You're going to be called. What's your full name? Chuni ben Shloimeh. Chuni ben Shloimeh. That's his name. It could be by Chuni Freund. That was his name also. I don't know if that was, but by Chuni it's his name. Ketzer Advarim. So Chuni, we have a minhag Yisrael that I think, I again, this is a custom in all of Klal Yisrael. When you have a minhag Yisrael so widely spread, I think there's something cool about it. And I want to say that it hit me as very identifying as a Yid. That we're a Yid and you don't want to define us, I think it's defining. We eat fruit on Tu B'Shvat. Now why do I think that's so defining? It's a minhag. Custom, this bizarre custom. Shmuel, anybody would see our custom of eating fruit on Tu B'Shvat would think it's weird. It's weird because that's not what happens Tu B'Shvat. Things are not, there's storms, it's in winter, and you didn't eat fruits. What's going on? Now, we've spoken many things about Tu B'Shvat. I went to daven by the Rebbe's kever, by the Lubavitch Rebbe's kever. And when I went to daven there, a man, it was like this Zisa person. This Zisa person said, oh, I wanted to tell you a word. Ki'ilu, he was waiting for me to come. Now, I don't go that often, but he met me like as if it was like planned. And he said, he listens to the shiur. I know you love Tu B'Shvat. I wanted to tell you this. So the Ashgacha had it, we met. And the Yid wanted to tell me. And he said that Reb Levi Yitzchak, who was Lubavitch Rebbe's father, not the Barditcheva, though he probably was named for the Barditchev, Reb Levi Yitzchak, the Lubavitch Rebbe's father, he said that he gathered his town of Reb Ezi. Right, I'm not trying to say that. He gathered his town on Tu B'Shvat and said, I have to speak to you, Chevra, I have something important to tell you. And he gathered them and he said to them on Tu B'Shvat, he said, Chevra, we're eating Paris. He said, look at the trees, it's dead. He said, in the middle of the storms, the Yid chaps that Hashem's working with us and Paris are coming. Good things are coming. Mashiach's coming. Which means, Mashiach's coming means Hashem's working with us. He's working with us. He's bringing us places. And the Yid deeply chaps in the middle of winter. When things are harsh and things are hard, Hashem's working with me. The Yid chaps that in a very deep way. It's not an excuse not to cry. We cry. We feel, we process, we have pain. But we're a people who chaps, Hashem's working with us. I love that we eat pears in the middle of the winter. When I heard this pshat, I can't say every year I've been the most careful. This year I was eating pears on Tu B'Shvat. I wanted to be part of a people that eats pears on Tu B'Shvat. That in the dead of the winter, when the world sees storms, we're eating pears. And we already see Hashem's working with me. Hashem's working with me. Things are happening. There are reasons we go through. We don't always understand it. We don't, and all we could do is cry and feel and pray. But the awareness that Hashem's working with us, He's bringing us, and Paris are coming. There's fruit yet to come. In the middle of the winter, all of us are aware of the sap that's starting to flow underground. whether the sap starting to flow on Tu B'Shvat, whether most of the geshamim that's going to be the cause and allow for the tree to process what it got and develop the peiros, but we're aware that in the dead of the winter, Hashem's preparing the peiros, the beautiful peiros that are yet to come. And I think that defining fact of a Yid, that he eats peiros on Tu B'Shvat, I wanted to share that with the Chevra, that amidst difficulty, Hashem is working with us. He's working with us, bringing us to very, very good places. That emunah, that belief that Hashem's working with us. I've said this many times in yeshiva. We say, Lahagid ba'boiker chastecha. In the good times, we relate Hashem's kindness. And we absorb that Hashem loves us and cares for us. At the difficult times we have emunah, we have awareness. The emunah's in place already, balayla. Because we're people who notice the chesed Hashem, emunah is already in place, balayla. It's already in place. We already have the emunah, the knowledge, things could be difficult, and we experience the difficulty, and we cry to Hashem and feel the pain of the difficulty, but we also are aware Hashem's working with me. With that awareness, as I'm working and processing, Hashem's bringing me places. So I wanted to, Kaidem Kol, today share this in sharing a difficult bit of news and asking the guys to daven. I wanted to share this in general about our people, that we're people who eat fruit in the middle of the winter. We stop on a day that's the dead of the winter, and we eat some fruit. Tu B'Shvat, mamish, the dead of the winter. And we eat fruit is a people that are fully aware that in difficult times Hashem is bringing and setting up good times and involved in creating good times. So I wanted to share that with the Chevra. One of the things I noticed in the Kapitel Tilim, Kuf Beis, Tefillah La'ani, Kiyatayv, is that in the middle of that kapitel, we're talking about a person who's in a lot of pain, begging Hashem, Al Taster Panecha. In the middle of that kapitel Tilim, we say, Am Nivra Yahalel Ka. Klal Yisrael, the created people, will yet praise Hashem. And I want to say, in midst difficulty, what are we speaking about the Yeshua? It's the awareness that good things are coming. Could I share a theory with the Chevra that I've shared only once? I shared publicly on a Thursday night and once here. I want to share a crazy theory, Yosef, with the Chevra. JD, tell me if I'm out of bounds. Yisrael, I'm excited you're here. L'kavod Yisrael and Chuni and Yehuda being here. Mechi back home. Kivala, I want to share a theory with you. Tell me, Shloim, if it's out of bounds. Tell me, Aaron, I need your feedback. Viggy, tell me what you think. A guy in yeshiva, a bacher in yeshiva, one of the all-time greats in yeshiva, a tremendous Ben Torah, said to me that I have a tremendous secret I have to share with you, and I'd like to. Could I share this secret? He allows me to share this, and I didn't for a long time, but today he allows it. The bacher shares that he has a trauma in his life. He says that when he was a youngster, a relative was nifter, a young relative who he was very close to, and when he was informed of the relative's p'tira in a car accident, he started laughing uncontrollably. And he says that he has a deep shame that I'm an animal, I'm not a good person. He carried this for close to 10 years, this like secret, and this pain of inside feeling I'm a schlechter mensch, I'm a bad person. Here I'm told the besura of a relative, and he burst out laughing, and he felt that he was a bad person. When I was a youngster, a towel caught fire in my kitchen. We lived in an apartment. I could see the picture in the kitchen. The towel caught fire, and I started laughing and felt badly about it as well. What's wrong with you? And anybody could look up online. It's a completely normal reaction to bad news is to start laughing. It's just the normal reaction. There are a lot of theories to why such a thing would be. Why would somebody laugh? It is a normal reaction. It's not the most common, but there's such a reaction that a person could hear something sad and start laughing. Is that nervous, just letting out nervous energy? What the psychology? Anybody here could say a pshat. It is in the realm of normal, that you can look online. There's conversation about it.
Or when you say the same thing, is it like a teacher screaming at a kid, and the kid's all scared and starts laughing?
Yes, 1,000% same thing. Yes, yeah. It's like a nervousness that could be expressed. There's such a normal reaction to difficult things. This guy for 10 years thought he was an animal. He carried a deep shame that I'm a bad person. Because when he was young, he heard a loved one passed on, and he started laughing and couldn't stop laughing and felt like a lowlife. For years, he carried that shame, and it's a normal reaction. A person could laugh. It's a normal nervous. I had the story myself. I did not carry a deep shame from it, but I do remember feeling like funny doing it, and a fire, and I started laughing. It's a reaction. Now, you ever heard of such a reaction to a difficult thing that a person starts laughing? You've heard of such a thing. There's such a thing. This is what I want to claim, Yudi. I don't know if I'm right. I want to offer this as a theory, Yudi. The Gemara at the end of Makkas says that a fox walked in the Kodesh Kodashim, and Rabbi Kiva and his friends saw it. The Tanoim saw this and started crying. They had a tremendous care for the Beis HaMikdash. Welcome home, Maishala. Good to have you back, Maishala. Yeah. Los Angeles, thumbs up. Excellent. So, the kitzur is Maish, that the Gemara, these Tanaim who cared about Beis HaMikdash, who cared about Ashras HaShechina, they saw a fox go in the Kodesh HaKdashim, in the holiest place, and they eschilu heim livkais. They started to cry. Rabbi Kiva starts laughing. They asked Rabbi Kiva, why are you laughing? He says, why are you crying? They said, why are we crying? The place, it says, Azar Akar of Yumas. If a Yisrael goes there as nifter, and Shual and foxes are walking there, we shouldn't cry? Such a holy sight is been, the Kedush has been taken away. We're crying. Why are you laughing? Said Rabbi Kiva, there were two prophecies that were linked. Remember, the second Beis HaMikdash, which Rabbi Kiva was alive during, was a complicated state. And said Rabbi Kiva that two prophecies that are linked. The second Beis HaMikdash, we did not have full autonomy. We were under the power of the Romans. They would put in bad Kohanim Gedolim, Rishon. They would do a lot of stuff. We were not completely free at the end of the second Beis HaMikdash. Said Rabbi Kiva, there are two prophecies. There's a prophecy, of the rebuilding of Yerushalayim. Elderly people are going to be walking the streets. Youngsters free in the streets. I always loved that prophecy with the captives taken prisoners. It made that prophecy so much more beautiful, because the streets don't feel safe today, and we had elderly people and youngsters ripped off the streets, and this prophecy is Yerushalayim is going to be the safest place on earth. You're going to have elderly people comfortably walking, little children, Mesachakim, playing. A beautiful picture of the security and safety of Eretz Yisrael. He said there's a prophecy of the rebuilding of Eretz Yisrael, and there's a prophecy of the Beis HaMikdash, of Tzion Sada Techarish. Tzion is going to be plowed over. Said Rabbi Kiva, those two prophecies are linked. And only when I saw Yerushalayim in destruction was I now know that the prophecy of the beautiful rebuilding Yerushalayim is going to come true. Said Aryeh Shuster, who learned in our yeshiva, beautiful Aryeh Shuster learning in Imrei Bina, at his siyum on Masechta Makkas, he said, why is Rabbi Kiva laughing? Good, he knows the prophecy is going to come true, but this is sad. It's sad that a fox is walking in there. This is still sad. What are you laughing at this? Said Aryeh Shuster, it's not just good things are coming. When Hashem is doing difficult things, He's working on us and working with us, and good things are coming. In the difficult thing, in our response to the difficult thing, good things are coming. And it was the awareness, Rabbi Kiva had a tremendous awareness that within difficulty, Hashem is working with us. We're human beings, we're allowed to cry. It always interests me that Rabbi Kiva asked them why they're crying. and he wanted them to express why they're crying. I always saw in that Gemara that Rabbi Kiva's not arguing. But he asked them, why are you crying? I promise you Rabbi Kiva knew why they were crying. He wanted it expressed. You have a right to cry, and you're crying, speak it out. You have a right to cry. We feel and we cry. But Rabbi Kiva also understood a truth that Hashem is working with us. It's a truth we live with. We cry. We're human. We cry and feel. And we only get to the deeper places when we cry and feel. And Rabbi Kiva asks them, why are you crying? Please express it. Express the pain and talk it out. We process and we face the things we're going through. It could be very dangerous, but everything's for the good. You have to feel and process and experience. But we have a deep awareness that Hashem is working with us. And that's why Rabbi Kiva laughed. I want to make a claim, and I don't know if I'm in bounds, Chevra, that Hashem put in the world that there's such a thing of laughing at bad news is because that deep reality is in the Bria that Hashem's working with us. I'm not saying we should laugh at bad news. We lemaise make a baruch dayan emes. We don't say atoiv ameita for bad news because we're human and we're sitting in pain. However, there's an existing reaction of laughter because there's a truth that Hashem is working with us. So Hashem put in the Bria such a reaction. Viggy, what do you hold of such an idea? B'derech efsher. Maybe, right? You're not sure? Maybe. I'm not sure either. What do you hold? Elio, what do you hold of such a pshat? Maybe. Maybe Yisrael, it's in the Bria such a reaction of laughter because of the reality that Hashem is working with us. So it's in the Bria such a zach. Now again, of course we're human and we cry, but there exists in the Bria tapping into something that exists in the Bria. Now of course we're human and we cry, but if the laughter comes out, there was something that's in the world, Yuri, that we're tapping into. Now of course we have to be human and have to, and if we're just going to laugh and ignore other feelings, that's not how Hashem's working with us to bring the laughter. He's working with us as human beings who make a baruch dayan emes. But there exists such a thing of laughter. So I wanted to describe, we weren't together. We weren't zeichet to be together. I hope in future years we get to eat pears. Somebody criticized us that how did we work it out that we had midwinter and we didn't have Tu B'Shvat is a very, very waterberry chag for reasons I don't want to go into right now, but before the break I discussed a little bit. But this aspect of Tu B'Shvat, that in the middle of the winter the Yid eats pears. The Yid eats fruits in the middle of the winter because he has a deep hakara that when others see storms and destruction, he sees construction. Things are happening. Things are being built. There's a concept in Hilchos Shabbos Yuri Lunger of Seiser al Menas Livnais. What's that halacha? We have 39 malachas of Shabbos, Rabbi say. One of the malachas is Seiser, is to destroy. I have a kasha. The Lamed Tes malachas, you're only chayav if it's misake, not mekalkel. They all have to be constructive, not destructive. Akiva, you're aware of that halacha? In order to be Asr Midaraisa, the 39 malachas, what's a condition necessary? They have to be constructive, mistikun. They have to be constructive. If they're destructive, is it an Isser Daraisa? No. So any one of the 39 malachas is not an Isser Daraisa if it's destructive.
So then how?
So ask Rav Ezi, Shlita, how is one of the Lamed Tes Malachas, Seiser, to take down? That's not constructive. What's the answer, Yisrael? You're only chayiv if you're Seiser al Menas Livnais. If the purpose of taking apart is to construct, so then it's constructive, because the whole purpose of being Seiser is al Menas Livnais. The whole purpose of the destruction was to build. Every single time we go through something difficult, Hashem is Seiser al Menas Livnais. He's being constructive, and that's the Yid in the middle of the winter, it's Paris, who has the awareness, it's difficulty, there's stira going on, but it's al Menas Livnais. Hashem's trying to build and trying to create, and that's the Yid Chuni who eats Paris in the middle of the winter. The Yid eats Paris. I have a third thing I want to share, but it's just going to be rambling, Shloim. If I go on and we don't sing a song in the middle, it's going to end up... let's sing Oid Yeshvu together, that prophecy of Oid Yeshvu, and then maybe we'll sing something else. You have a guitar in the room? What? No, you don't have to play that. That song you did by Color War was gorgeous. You and Relly should do that again. So can you get it? Could you get that? Okay, we'll hold out for that. But Morty? What about Morty? How gorgeous was that? The Chevra liked that song they sang? Maish, that song you sang was gorgeous. Lamana Chai V'Reya. JD, you were part of that. JD sang also. You're going to sing it up here. JD's coming up.
JD what? J what?
Maish, JD, we'll do Lamana Chai again. Maish, you like the Lamana Chai? Hootie, what would... Yisrael, you ever heard Zusha's Lamana Chai? I want you to hear it. Yehuda, you like that? Yehuda's struggling to admit he liked it, being on the blue teamers. But I think everybody was masculine, no? Avram, you liked it? What'd you say? Themes instead of colors. 6:13. We're doing that, of course we are. A word's a word. We're doing 6:13 and
Oh, right.